Hi, I'm Portage County Executive Patty Dreier, and there is construction outside the door here as we film this over at the P.J. Jacobs area of the community. So if you hear the equipment go on and off, it's a good thing. We're actually improving our roads here in the city of Stevens Point. So welcome to Portage County Matters, and my guest today is Sara Brish. She's our Executive Director of the Stevens Point Area Visitor and Convention Bureau. And what I'd like to do is just give you a couple of quick highlights, some news in Portage County first, and then from there we'll go ahead and get right to Sara, one of my favorite people in the county, for sure. So, but there's a whole bunch going on in Portage County government right now, and I've got about, I'd say, 6 or 7 bullets. So here we go. We're planning for the future of the Portage County Healthcare Center, and we're working to develop a paradigm that will bring it into balance and sustain it well into our future, because we know how important the mission is to people here in Portage County. As one step toward improving those efficiencies and improving our services and quality of care there, I've recommended that we seek the help of an outside contractor to provide housekeeping services. That is, to outsource the housekeeping function for the Portage County Healthcare Center. And this is something that is done in a number of other county homes across the state. 4 of the 7 positions in that special unit became vacant recently. And so getting outside expertise to help us rebuild this aspect of our operation right now during this time, as we're focusing our energy on so many other aspects of our strategic planning process to sustain the county home, is really important right now. And so I've asked for help of the county board to support my recommendation to get this contractor's expert help in housekeeping. That will also save us around $150,000 annually in operational costs, equipment and supplies for the center. So that'll be very important in our future budgeting for the Portage County Healthcare Center. Budget planning for 2013 is well underway, and we are really now giving attention to capital projects, and those are those items that are $25,000 or over. So we're talking about highway projects and parks projects and infrastructure, building, facilities kinds of projects, and also some technology as well. We're also planning for the integration of child support into the Department of Health and Human Services right here in our county, so we can we'll be able to recoup additional matching grant funds up to an estimated $100,000 a year, and that way we'll have additional dollars to pay for additional staff that can assist in dealing with the rising caseload of child support cases in our county. So that's a really big one. Emergency management is another area that's getting a lot of attention right now, and we are exploring options for how to move forward in a way that dedicates additional focus, time, and resources to that mission. I'm now collecting input from around the county, from municipalities, and from stakeholders of the emergency management system in the county to continue to look at alternatives, ways that we may be able to design things different so that we can have extra focus on emergency management and readiness here for disasters and storms and things like that in our county. And then ambulance negotiations for our countywide ambulance program are just beginning this month. So you're going to definitely hear more about that as we move forward, including how we will manage our EMS functions administratively in the county. So that's something of a strategic decision to be made here as part of the ambulance contract process. Physical space planning is continuing to move ahead slowly but surely, and I'm sure you're going to hear more about that. And finally, moving forward with plans on our justice project for the State Department of Corrections has invited Portage County to be their partner in a pilot test to develop the state's new community-based corrections program. It's a restorative justice kind of program model for the state of Wisconsin's justice future. So It's pretty neat to have been asked to participate in that and to be recognized that Portage County is a leader in justice programming for the state and how we collect data around justice programs. And so anyway, we're moving forward, and a decision on some details should come before the county board, probably, I'm going to guess, August or September, but hopefully August in the county here. So that's my news for now. Again, welcome to Portage County Matters, and I would like to introduce you to Sara Brish, our Executive Director of the Stevens Point Area Visitor and Convention Bureau, located over on the east side, in the north side, excuse me, of Stevens Point, near the former Ramada. So welcome, Sara.
Thanks for having me. Always happy to promote Portage County and all that we have to offer.
And you do a really good job at that.
Thank you.
I just have to commend you right up front. Again, one of the greatest spokespeople, I think, that we have here for Portage County, and we're really making good progress on all of that. Now let's talk about you first, and then a little bit more about the Visitor and Convention Bureau as an organization in our community. First of all, you, longtime resident, all your life right here in Portage County?
Actually,
Why don't
no.
you tell us about it?
I had the great pleasure of living in northeast Wisconsin in a small community named Niagara.
Oh, I know right where it is.
Yeah.
Our family used to have a cabin there.
Yeah. And at one time we had an affiliate paper mill up there. So yeah.
Wow, and so how long have you lived here then in
Well,
Portage County?
I was born in Portage County, and my family moved away for several years, and then I came back to go to school here, and found my husband, and had children, and now we're one big happy family.
Wonderful, and I know you live out in my direction, so it's always fun to be in the neighborhood, if you would. Now listen, you have been in your executive director's role for what? A couple years?
Almost 2 years
I can't
now.
even believe it.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
So really, doesn't it seem like yesterday?
It does. My predecessor retired 2 years ago in August, and after working at the Convention and Visitor Bureau at that time for nearly 11 years, and having applied for the position, our board felt confident in me moving our organization forward. And so I was really excited because I had a lot of history with our organization. And through the course of my 11 years with the Bureau, I always felt room for improvement and growth within our organization. So I finally was able to take over and make some of those changes in improving Portage County and tourism in Portage County.
And I think already you've made a large contribution, and I acknowledge that. For sure. All right, well, so in your role as executive director, I mean, you've got your finger on the pulse of what's going on with tourism in the county, and let's just talk about that. What's the function of your organization, and then what's happening for the tourism movement, I guess you would say, here in our county and in central Wisconsin?
So let me just talk a little bit about sort of the financial benefit to the county that tourism has. The Wisconsin Department of Tourism conducts an annual study to find out county by county how much people are spending in the state and what tourism means to the state as a whole. So we just learned in May, in conjunction with National Tourism Week, that visitors spent $98 million here in Portage County, and that's on lodging, at shops, at restaurants, at attractions, on ticket sales, so that's in a variety of fashions. So $98 million to the local economy is huge.
Over what period of time did you say?
I'm sorry, that was all of 2011.
Wow.
And I should mention that that's a 6.2 increase over 2010. And there's several contributing factors to that, and we'll get into that a little later when we start talking about the strategic planning process and what we learned and why we decided to do a strategic plan.
So when you say 6.2, do you mean 6.2% increase?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. Fantastic. Keep going. I'd love to hear more.
Well, the mission of the Convention and Visitor Bureau is to bring visitors into the county to spend money here and have a financial impact at our local businesses. And so we do that in a variety of fashions. We have 4 primary markets that we target. One would be the leisure market, folks that are coming in to bike, hike, canoe, kayak, camp, whatever it might be. And then we reach out to the meetings and convention market. Folks, associations, government agencies that host meetings on a regular or annual basis. We prospect, and our sales staff at the Convention and Visitor Bureau reach out to them to find out when they're planning their next meeting and if Portage County, Stevens Point area can be in the next meeting rotation cycle. So those would be two of the 4 markets. Another one is group business, and that's motor coaches. Anyone that might be coming in on a motor coach. We work with a lot of bank travel groups, a lot of banks throughout the Midwest and the nation for that matter, or the world. Work with seniors or retired folks that are interested in going out and taking in attractions, points of interest on a 2, 3, or 4-day tour. So we work a lot with the motor coach market, and we have several businesses in the area that we team up with that can accommodate groups of, say, 20 to 40. We also partner with Marshfield and Wisconsin Rapids in that effort because together we have more to offer the group travel market. So that's another one of the markets. And lastly, probably the fastest growing market for this area will be the sports market. And most recently, we've dedicated a significant amount of sales and service time in youth and amateur sports and growing that market. We've started a sports commission in 2003 that gives grants out to organizations that are interested in bringing in a new tournament or enhancing an existing tournament. So we really feel like we have the pulse on what there is to see and do here in Portage County, and taking our points of interest and attractions and great businesses and promoting those to the visitors that we serve.
So I'm going to go back through them again. So with $98 million last year, with construction outside our door right now for anybody that keeps hearing the sound and didn't catch the beginning of the show.
In any community, whether it's Portage County or the next county over. I mean, it's always happening.
As long as you can get there from here. My father always used to say. Well, anyway, so we've got the leisure market. We've got the hosts of meetings here. And I know that actually Portage County government itself has participated in so many different meetings, statewide meetings, that are right here. We're really lucky. That saves on our travel expenses for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And our central location in the state really does well for us. We work with a lot of state associations that, have membership from as far south as the Kenosha area and as far north as, the Ashland and Bayfield County area. So our central location typically attracts more convention attendees to a meeting than any other destination in the state. So just because of our location and the easy proximity to locations across the state, the easy driving distance. I mean, we're at the crossroads of major highways here in central Wisconsin and Stevens Point area, so that all bodes well for us.
But I had no idea that the attendance, that somehow you've been able to track and be able to report that. That's awesome.
We compete with the Wisconsin Dells on that. Of course, that's families like to extend their meetings, and if they're in the Dells, and we're working on trying to extend meetings here. By gaining awareness to those attendees that are coming in about the other things that we have to offer here in the community.
Excellent. So leisure, and then the host groups, like you said, and then group travel, and then the fastest area that's growing is related to sports events. Wow, and when I think about the sports events alone, I think about the improvements we made last year to Standing Rocks Park for cross-country meets. That's an example of a draw.
Absolutely.
A draw for tourism as well as our local benefit.
Like the meetings and convention market, sports is attractive to participants because of our central location, our ease of access, and our top-notch facilities. So it's important for our county and our municipalities to continue to invest in those facilities, because I really feel that the financial benefit to the county outweighs the investment.
So that, we may as well just talk about that because it's going to be on some more in the news. Let's just talk very quickly about a capital project that is up for consideration here in the county for the 2013 budget and beyond. It comes in a couple of phases, and it's cold, and it's white, and it's snowmaking, right? Yeah. Snowmaking for Standing Rocks Park. So tell me what you think about that. I know you were at a meeting earlier today. Could you just address that real quick, and then we'll
Sure.
get back to this stuff. But it just seems apropos.
Sure, absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, visitors spend about $98 million in Portage County annually. Our busiest season is summer, and that's due to the meetings and convention market and the great meetings that we've hosted for many years and events like Suzuki, National Wellness, Iowa Car Show, and others, and then the sports market. But what we need in this community is a lure during the winter months. That is our least busy of the 4 seasons. And so I feel strongly about the expansion and enhancements that are being proposed to the Capital Improvements Committee out at Standing Rocks. And that includes a snowmaking machine that would have capabilities of consistent snow in the county at that particular park, which would allow for the downhill skiers to have consistent open hours. And one of the enhancements I know that they're looking at is adding lighting to allow for night skiing.
Right.
And I just think it would be a great lure for visitors, but also on a personal note, I mean, our family loves, skiing, and I have a young, a 3- and a 5-year-old that would, chomp at the bit to learn to ski. We can't afford Granite Peak, so this is a nice feeder program, I think, and as long as the county, continues to invest in our parks, I think that we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I appreciate that very much. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot, I mean, when they pin it against, health and wellness in this county, it's a tough choice, and one that, is serious and that, folks have to really consider. But I think that we spend a lot of money in the county on the things that, like the rehab programs and other things, where what's the reason we all live, work, and play here? It's the quality of life issues, and I think we need to continue to invest in those, because we're going to lose business, potential, employees, if we don't have that quality of life here.
I remember a phone call you made to my office. It was not even related to that project even half so much as just a remember, Patty, remember, we do invest a lot in crisis intervention, early or mid intervention, and also we have to remember that the vast majority of taxpayers aren't needing intervention services or crisis services. And so don't forget about the rest. Don't forget about the rest of the pool. And so this is one of those quality of life options, one of those wellness options, and one of those economic development options that is definitely getting some serious consideration. I know that they worked hard to pare the project down, to really detail what was needed. I had a business owner stop me actually this week in a certain part of the county where I was. He just happened to be there, and he said, Patty, I just want to remind you, you have about 95% of all the infrastructure it would take to do this, and now you could put it over the top and start having this work for the people of Portage County with a spurt forward through this capital project for snowmaking out at Standing Rocks to take our existing ski hill and create these other pieces. And it comes in a couple phase projects, something that's an incremental increase. So anyway, it's just a pleasure to talk with you about it. It makes me feel a little cooler in here today when we got the construction outside the door and the hot lights, and it's only going to be about 90 degrees today.
I just wish that we can continue to invest early in people's lives. So if that can make a difference to my 3- and 5-year-old now, that may change how they look at wellness and how they, keep them out of the system, if you will. I mean, for years to come, just diverting their attention to something healthy and family friendly. So,
yeah. I was also we were talking about the Juvenile Detention Center in the county. And the Juvenile Detention Center, of course, is that place that you go that's adjacent to the jail in the event that a juvenile got in trouble and needs to have a wake-up call. And the center costs us about $650,000 a year to keep it open, and the use is rising. We have more juveniles more youth that are having troubles in their lives. And so I'm reminded very, very clearly, you know, look at that cost, and you're right, if we can redirect earlier on, it's a wise investment. I remember Charlie Fernandez was at this particular meeting, and he was really urging that we give a lot more attention to prevention as well. So the message is clear. We're working on that, and I know, I believe in that very much. Well, let's turn back over to the strategic planning process for the Visitor and Convention Bureau. I had the great opportunity to participate, I should say, and it was about a 6-hour or something process that we held down in the town of Plover area. And tell us more about it, about the results, about the process. It's a great story, and we've got a great roadmap for our future now related to tourism.
Thanks for letting me talk about this, because this is really near and dear to me. I felt like a strategic plan was imperative to our organization. We've had so many changes in our tourism-based assets over the past several years. The new Holiday Inn on the city's east side, increased sports events in this community, expanded craft breweries in the area, an elevated art scene in the community, among several others. So I felt it was imperative to sort of take a step back and look at what we're doing as an organization to market Portage County as an attractive destination, and tweak our messaging. And so we teamed up with a destination marketing firm out of the Madison area that has been doing this sort of thing all over the United States. And I feel like they pulled us in a good direction, and we got great results. But just to tell you a little bit about how the day started. I reached out to 40 individuals. The firm that we were working with asked me to, you know, gather 25 or so individuals, and I said, well, okay, I'll send out an invite to 40, and we'll see, you know, who I can get around the table. And we strategically invited people that represented a cross-sector of interests, whether it's sustainable interests, silent sport interests, municipality interest. We had folks from the arts, youth sports, the media and convention realm. We had a great group of people. But when I sent out the invite, hoping for 20 to 25, I actually got 37. So we had 37 people sitting around the table, and Patty, you were one of them. And we really, we were separated in the room so that not all the arts people were at one table and not all the you know, municipalities were at another. We were, the tables were carefully crafted, and we had an individual that represented each of sort of the different sectors, tourism sectors in the county. So it was an opportunity for all of us to interact with people that we don't sit next to on a regular basis, and talk about what we're passionate about. As a result of the conversation and what the individuals felt was important, Pilch and Barnett, the firm that we teamed up with, came up with a 14-page strategic plan, and we're using it as a tool to move our organization forward and to create a robust marketing plan to promote Portage County as an attractive destination. So some of the findings.
Please. And you know, I think the most amazing finding is just when we hold the mirror up to ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. Talk about that one. About us as citizens.
Yeah, one of the things that came out of this, and wasn't really shocking to me because as a destination marketing professional, I know this happens all over, but what we learned, or what the group learned during this process, is that we're, as community members and leaders and business owners, we're very critical about ourselves. And, you know, we have a $450,000 budget to push the county forward as an attractive destination, and we spend it all on marketing. And the worst thing that can happen is that someone can come into the community and they go to a business, and the person behind the desk says there's nothing to do here. So all that money that we've used to market the county as an attractive destination is thrown out the door, because the folks that we're talking to don't get it. And so I'm here today, and I've been, working the circuit. I've been speaking in front of service organizations to tell all of you that are listening, and to Patty, and hopefully she can spread the word that we don't need to be so critical of ourselves. We have a great destination here. We have great events, great niche or unique boutiques, and great shopping. There's many people from far and near that come here to shop. We just recently conducted a survey at the Portage County Youth Soccer Tournament last weekend, and learned that second to participation fees for the event and lodging, people were spending their money on shopping in the area. So whether that was going to Fleet Farm to grab something, or jetting downtown to take in Geppetto's or one of the great shops, or heading out to Crossroads Commons, that's where they're spending their money. So it's important that we not be so critical of who we are and what we have to offer.
We had a citizen in the county executive's office yesterday, actually just yesterday, and one of the things that she recognizes is how lucky we are in Portage County. And she just said, can you get out there? Can you help to remind people of Portage County how lucky we are? And you're right. We sometimes take things for granted. We have so much to offer here. And again, you're out there now helping us to put the message together so we can tell that story, and we can have others come and join us in what's fun, what's an awesome quality of life, what is an awesome place to have a blast with your family or gather for a meeting. But the other thing is some are going to come and they're going to say, this is where I want to start my business, or this is where I want to expand my business to. So it has so many other interfaces, and what you do is just critically important to all of that. I want to make sure, because we have a couple minutes left in the show, that we also address where are you going to take the plan? What's the next step? And then also, as part of this, could we also mention just a little bit about your new website? Yeah. So that folks can get connected to that. And if there's time, we'll hit Farm Technology Days for 2014 a little bit, which is a big tourism thing going on right now.
So the next step in implementing our strategic plan is we've worked with our staff and Pilcher Barnett to create a marketing plan to move us forward. So we, because compared to other destinations in the state, we do have a limited budget when it comes to actually marketing dollars. So what we've created is a really good PR campaign, and because it's affordable and very effective, our new online campaign is proving already a lot of interest in the area, and we're focusing on the things that we are good at. Brewing,
yep.
Sustainability, and that goes to inviting people into the community that enjoy the silent sports, the green spaces that we have, but also inviting conferences into the area and group tours that really want to learn more about sustainability.
And the website, I know we're down to the wire. So the website address is going to be shown on the bottom of the screen. We've got a minute to go. And so we've got beer.
We could go on forever.
Art. We've got recreation. We've got so much going for us with $98 million of amazing economic boosts here because of the work you do and the work that so many other businesses and other organizations and our government all contribute toward lifting up here in Portage County. And I just want to make sure that I put a plug in Farm Technology Days, July, right? July 2014. And that's when we're going to attract
60 to 80,000 visitors.
There you go. And so we're prepping. That's a big one. And you're leading the group on that. And you've helped us bring it to Portage County. And that's a huge, huge boost for us that we're looking ahead to and working hard on. I want to say that next month's show, and I'm going to come back and thank you in a second here, but next month's show, Matt Fleming is our procurement director in the county. He's going to come and talk with us about the operational audit that just happened about last month in June related to the procurement function in Portage County and all the things that we're learning as it's a roadmap for our future to continue to improve our purchasing operation. And Miss Sara Brish, one of my favorite people of the county. Thank you very, very much for what you do for all of us. You and your staff, they're stellar.
Thank you.
And I'd love to keep partnering with you to move Portage County forward.
Thank you.